was not a whore. The promise she gave was a promise made to take care of others, but not herself.
To give more than she got, because Aunt Jemima was not a proud symbol of women she represented.
My name is Dan Gaspy, and I want to talk to you about something that I feel is very important as it relates to America, as it relates to people of all colors, but particularly black people, African Americans, and also as it relates to black women. What I want to talk to you about today is about Aunt Jemima, a product that has been on the shelves and in the homes of millions of people for over 125 years. The very notion of Aunt Jemima I find insulting, I find repulsive, because it wasn't born out of something positive. It was born out of slavery. It was born out of a misconception of who black people and black women were, are, and it continues to exist right till this day. You know, about a month and a half ago, my wife and I, B. Smith, were in a store, and we saw a young girl buy a box of Aunt Jemima. And we became upset. Why? Because that young girl, 13, 14 years old, had no idea what the imagery and what Aunt Jemima represents. I mean, although she's been cleaned up, she's been slimmed down, she doesn't have a kerchief on her head, and God knows she doesn't speak, because if she did, we're not sure what kind of language would be used. And God knows we know that there couldn't be a person representing it, because nobody in America, no black woman really wants to be called Aunt Jemima. Now, I approached PepsiCo, which is the parent company of Quaker, which owns Aunt Jemima, and they respectfully declined to really take this seriously, because they said that the vast majority of Americans see Aunt Jemima as a product that's wholesome and nourishing and caring about people. But I submit to you America, and particularly to black women, tell me one person out here who would want to be called Aunt Jemima. Tell me one woman that would say, I want my daughter to be Aunt Jemima. Or, you know, my girlfriend reminds me so much of Aunt Jemima. There are a whole host of products, there are a whole host of people that you could identify with, or you could lay claim that they're part of an expression of success or household, home, perfection, but no one really wants to be called or identified with Aunt Jemima, yet that product exists. And that's a throwback to slavery. That's a throwback to another era. As African Americans, we are one of the few people to have products still reminiscent of slavery, Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben. And it's because we allow it. There are no other ethnic groups that have something that's so despicable and came out of the bastion of slavery, where people weren't called Mr. or Mrs., they were called Uncle or Aunt, where they were patted on the head or they were taken for granted. And that's the history of Aunt Jemima. Aunt Jemima is a throwback to the 18th century. There is nothing positive. Would you want your kid to receive an Aunt Jemima scholarship? Would you want your son or daughter to say, you know, if you work hard, you could be like Aunt Jemima? There are many products, and I don't have to even name them, that have women's names that you would be proud to be associated with. But there is not one person out here who can really say, hey, you know, my little girl just wanted Aunt Jemima scholarship. Let me put that out there for everybody to see. Or, hey, you know, your little baby, she looks so cute. Why don't you just call her Aunt Jemima or Jemima? Because we all know that what it represents is something that goes back to a long, putrid part of the American history and psyche of America. Back to slavery, back to second-class citizenship, back to a time when, you know, black people were not people. They were three-fourths of a man. Back to a time when they were fodder for every kind of vile, despicable act that this country has reaped on a people. And Aunt Jemima is a part of that. And if anyone can tell me that they would like to be Aunt Jemima, please send me a note and say, I want to name my kid Jemima. I want to be called Aunt Jemima. I'd be proud to have an Aunt Jemima scholarship. I feel very strongly about this, and I think you should tell people it's time to do away with stereotypes. That's the train coming in for Aunt Jemima. And guess what? She's not sitting in the first class car.